All righty, all righty. Hey, YouTube, welcome back to Truth About the Past. We are back with Mr. Jimmy Thomas. We had some technical difficulties, but we are back. Hey, Mr. Thomas,
Yeah, hello, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Now, I want to focus on the time period of 1965 to 1966 when the review was going from label to label, and eventually, River Deep Mountain High came out, and the radios did not know where to put the song, did not know what to label it as. I want to talk about that time period of the review.
All right. 66. River Deep Mountain High. Well, that, as you know, that was a Phil Spector production. Um, I produced half the album, one side of the album, and Phil produced the other side. I um I Ike and Phil couldn't work together like that. So they had to do the separate thing. Anyway, Phil Spector, he had some problems with the American music industry at the time. Anyway, he decided to release. They couldn't. They There was some kind of political situation. When I say political, I mean musical. In the music industry, his problem with them. They couldn't play the record because they didn't know if it was soul, if it was black, white, or whatever. So what he did, he was smart. He released it in Europe first, in England, and went straight up. And that was our first tour to England. That brought us to our first tour to Europe. And what more you want me to tell you about that?
Just toured the one that kicked off the tour with the Rolling Stones.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Go on.
Yes.
Uh,
Now, that time period of 60, around 64, 65, when y'all went to your companies, if you go
a guy that when we would be touring, and if we be say we'd be in doing a tour of Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, wherever we were, uh, we'd be writing songs on the road. Me, Tina, um, and he'd have his guitar in the car, his acoustic guitar in the car, and he'd come up with an idea in the hotel room or whatever. And if there was a recording studio somewhere en route to where we were going, say for example, if we were heading for New Orleans, he knew studios in New Orleans, we call a recording session. Bring the band in, we record. And we do that anywhere we were when the mood hit us. So and then he'd fly off to New York with the masters. And he was hustling deals here and there. I mean, I was young at that time, didn't know a lot about it, but that's what got me into production because I was really interested in the recording techniques and things like that. So um, uh, he had three labels of his own: Sony, Pran, or Sonny,
and Tina,
Pran, and I can't and
TENA.
Tina. That's right. That's right. Exactly. So he had his own few labels. He put a few. We had a lot of stuff that we just rubbish stuff that we would record. We just record anything. We was experimenting a lot, you know.
Mhm.
And other times he was making deals, sub deals around because the deal that he had with Sue. I mean, he still had freedom to do other deals with other people. Those deals
Okay.
that he made with Sue. I mean, for example, like yeah, I did I think two or three records on Sue.
Mhm.
That was part of his deal of the Ike and Tina deal.
Oh, okay.
So the Ike and Tina review, like we'd say if we was around Washington D.C. area for a few weeks or working out of the area for a few months, we'd do a lot of recording there. He set up a deal with somebody, um, and we were recording that whoever was a part of the review at that time, that would include it in the Ike and Tina Turner review deal. So wouldn't it just be Ike and Tina Turner? It would be
It'd
Ike
be
and
the
Tina
whole
Turner.
family.
There you go. It's like that. So that's how it went. And I mean, I wrote several of the Ikeette songs. There were other people that wrote songs for the Ikeettes. But it was all Ike was. He was a control freak with his stuff.
I mean,
It
I
was
can
his thing.
understand that though. I can understand him being not called controlling, but you know, his business was like his child. He wanted to protect it by no means necessary.
Exactly.
Right. And it
There you
seems
go.
that every person who has been interviewed who toured with Ike and Tina, they always say the same thing about Ike. He did things a certain way, and if it wasn't done a certain way, somebody would have to pay for it. That $5 fine, $5 fine.
Listen, Ike, he was he was lovely, man. I mean, a lot of people didn't like him. You know, you get all this bad publicity and things about. But Ike always, you know, he was lovely. You'd like him if you was around him because he'd make you laugh a lot. But he didn't take no stuff when it came to
Mhm.
the music and the band. And he didn't take no
No.
stuff. You know, it was his stuff. It was
Yeah.
his baby, and he was as a black man. He had to be like that because,
Yeah.
as you know, the industry is full of corruption. Always has been, always will be.
Mhm.
So if you don't be on top of your stuff, it'll just get taken away from you. Now he wasn't the brightest guy in the world
Yeah.
because he wasn't that well educated, but he learned along the way, and he'd been uh, you know, screwed around enough to have known what things to avoid. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So yeah, he was. I think Ike is so much underrated. I mean, he really is underrated.
He is.
For what
He
he,
is. And people really think that, you know, just because Tina was his wife, that she would get special treatment, but she was just like everyone else. She got it just like everybody else did. You got to get it.
Tina was the meal ticket.
Yeah.
You know, you got to understand it. It was Ike and Tina Turner, but Tina was the real star of the
Yeah.
thing. Ike was the engine room of the thing, right? He was
Right.
the engine, but
Mhm.
Tina was the star. She was the shining star. She was the one out there that kept us all going. I mean, we all was talented, but hey, Tina was the talent. I mean,
That's
she was
right.
the shine.
Ike was the engine and Tina was the wheels.
There you go.
That's right.
That's very
That's
well
correct.
put. I like it.
That's right. And then you got
So
the
that's-
Ikeettes as being the seats because they was the dancing. But I think everybody, the band, the Ikeettes, Tina, Ike, I think everybody had a part to play.
But the thing is, I mean, it was like the Ikeettes, myself, everybody else, the band, we were just cream on top.
Hmm. She was the cake.
I consider myself just lucky enough to have been, you know, part of that,
Mhm.
part of that cream, because it was great for me. It was everything for me. That's my whole life. You know, no, seriously. I came straight out of school with them, and when I left them, I came here, and I didn't with nobody else. That, you know, so that's why I set up my own stuff over here. I learned all that
Wow.
stuff from everything I know about production and whatever, you know, looking after yourself, your business, etc. I got that from him.
And that's good because, you know, people have problems in life and everything else. But as far as him being the musician, the band leader, and all that, he did have great talent to not only put together a great band and to get Tina as being the cake and y'all the icing, but that man couldn't read no sheet music.
Right.
And for him to pick up notes and play the music the way he did, that was amazing to me.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that band was hot.
Now,
Really good.
I want to bring up an album, and the name of this
Mm.
album is called Out of Season. And on the album cover, Ike and Tina were eating a watermelon, and their faces were painted white. Do you remember that album cover?
No.
Okay, let me show you. Hold on. This was the album cover.
No.
It was released in 1968, and I was asking, did you remember any of the
That,
backstory of the cover?
can you name me some of the songs on that album? And
Okay,
I can, that must have
so
been right after I left, because that's the year I left.
I've been loving you too long, mean old world, 3 o'clock in the morning blues, 5 long years, dust my broom, grumbling, I'm a motherless child, crazy about you, baby, reconsider, baby, honest I do, please love me, my babe, rock me, baby.
And is there a mixture of artists on it, or of the review artists on it? Or is it all
No,
just people?
it's all just Tina, and yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell you, that was another one of those crazy times when he just decided to put an album together right quick, because all of those tracks that you just named were traditional blues, down hard, uh, hope to die blues songs.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? There was no pop, nothing in that. All those titles were strictly blues titles. 3 o'clock in the morning is all BB King. You named Lowell Fulton's. Was it so long? Reconsider, baby, and all those. Uh, yeah, that was just one of those albums to do a quick deal with
Uh-huh.
some. I don't know what label was it on.
Blue Thumb.
Blue Thumb. Okay. Yeah, he just threw well, he needed some money right quick, so he threw an album together right quick. Went in the studio.
So a
Some
quick
traditional.
question. Who all rode? Was everybody allowed to ride in the Cadillac or the
No,
limousine?
no. Just me. I drove it, right? I was
Uh-huh.
because I was the guy. They didn't feel comfortable riding with nobody else. Um, so it would be me when what's the name? What was the girl's name now? She was our secretary for a while. She was
Rhonda Graham.
Yeah, Rhonda would obviously when Rhonda joined, but the one before Rhonda, uh, oh God, I can't remember her name right now. But anyway, she was our secretary.
Mhm.
She would ride in the car, but it was just Ike and Tina and myself and the secretary. Occasionally, if we wanted to have some rehearsals, we get some of the girls would ride in the car to from one place to another. So we, get a few rehearsals in vocally or something, or
Mhm.
writing a few songs or something like that. But no, it was just, just us,
Mhm.
basically.
Now, how was Tina's and Ann Thomas's relationship? E- Even though Ike had a child with Ann, and you know,
Very close, very close. They were like, when you see with situations like that, when you're traveling on the road, you become like a family.
Uh-huh.
You know, you get very close with people that there that you're working with, and it really is like a family. And you can't. I don't know. Look, it's one of those kind of situations where when people talk to me, and I've done millions of interviews about this, the relationship between Tina and the other girls that Ike would be, having a relationship with in the group or out of the group. Well, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
especially Ann Thomas. And because Ann Thomas couldn't sing, but she looked good and she could dance, and she was Ike's um, other squeeze.
Mhm.
um, uh, Tina, there's always that big question. People say,
Well, I
well,
know
who
there's
was
animosity going to be between them two, but far as like, was it like
no,
a sister or was it like just
yeah,
like friends?
listen, we laughed, we laughed, and Ann Thomas rode in the car mostly as well,
Okay.
right? Us, because I didn't want to own the bus amongst the rest of it.
I would imagine.
how did you? Now, another question: how did you feel about the transition from the early '60s when it was the big blocky dresses and the regular black and white suits until the later '60s when the outfits changed, the patterns, the rhinestones? How did y'all feel as men on the road having to wear different clothing?
The guys, I mean, we wore whatever, I wore whatever I wanted, me and Bobby John, and then the guys in the band, and not the band had the band uniform, you know,
Mhm.
they had to look like the band. But as far as I was dressed any way I wanted to, and always trying to dress the sharpest. Obviously, he ain't gonna be as sharp as Ike because he had all the money. But we used to, we used to get our clothes made. We used to get our suits made, right? There was a guy that used to make a lot of our suits out of Houston, Texas. A guy. He also made James Brown suits and stuff.
Oh, okay. That's some tailor-made suits.
Hey?
Tailor-made suits.
Yeah. When you're on the road like that and you're doing theater circuit, like on the East Coast, you know, it's you in competition.
That's right.
You had to be sharp. You had to look good. And the guys, I mean, the girls, they put their sequins or whatever they wanted to wear. I mean, that was what they wanted. We didn't. Ike would say something. He would always have some input with Tina. What kind of style they would have. But the rest of us, man, I mean, you try to get as clean as you could because it's competition time. You're gonna try to get the house. The house belongs to you tonight. Oh no, it still belongs to me. Not you won't want to go home after I do tonight. You know,
Yeah.
and like when we be doing those package tours, when I say a package tour, that would mean like it would be us, that would be the Impressions, maybe, that would be Marvin Gaye, there may be several top acts on the same bill doing the tour, right? Those kind of packages, and it would maybe cost $5 or something to get in to see all these top acts.
Wow.
But every act is gonna try to leave the other act wanting. They're gonna try to take the house, and that is that kind of healthy competition. And we had the competition among ourselves in our own group. It was like between me, Bobby John, and Stacy and Vernon. Never the Ikeettes, because the girls were just always the girls. They had to buy Tina, whatever they had a little spot, but that was their gig, right? But with us guys, shit, man, we would talk to each other like, "Hey, I'm kicking your ass tonight. You won't want to come on stage tonight. You know, this is my house tonight, and I'm pretty. Don't you look at me? Just look at this. You know, and you get in the mirror. This is before we go on stage. So this is it was very fun. It was so much fun. We were just, hey man, we loved each other. You know what I mean? And it just made us better. It made you have better stage craft. It made you had to work.
Yes, yeah, you had to sweat work.
You didn't mess around because you did. Hey, you didn't have a gig for long because you know people wouldn't even like you because.
So what did y'all use for y'all's hair? I seen in your video, y'all hair was slicked down. Was that Concoline grease?
Yeah, they look good. That was the thing of the day, of the time. There was only guys that.
But what was it?
Hey,
what did y'all use?
What was the grease?
It wasn't grease. It was a process. You know, you've heard of the process, haven't you?
Oh, y'all use perms, huh?
Yeah,
they call perms today.
Yes, that's it. That's what exactly. So that's what we had. Man, you had to look that. That was it. If you didn't look that, if you're gonna go the natural look, kind of like your hair, like that, you know. It's looking nice, you know. But some people did that. I mean, like Sam, for example, Sam Cooke always drew his hair natural. He wasn't into the other that, right? Unlike James Brown, for example, James Brown was on our side of the thing. He wanted his hair slick. It was just a style. It was just the way people wore their hair, different styles. It didn't really matter as long as you could get out there and do your thing.
Perform.
And you had to, because otherwise people would let you know real quick, because people were spoiled for choice as far as great talent, great performers out there in them days. I mean, you couldn't get on the stage and stand there and go, you know, you're so twee and you got all of the lights and everything to make you look good. You had to do it. You couldn't have props up there to make you look good.
You talking about Diana Ross?
Well, hey, Diana, she was all right, but she had big
Aretha Franklin, she really didn't dance too much either.
No, Aretha just blew the house down.
Aretha only had to just be there.
Oh yeah,
yes.
She could just sit on stage.
Yeah, that's all she had to do. You was asking me earlier about a time in my life when I was with them that it knocked me out. That was another time we played a place in LA called the 5-4 Ballroom. And we had the whole weekend there. We do that every now and again. We wasn't on the tour of the rest of the country. We based ourselves out of LA. And Aretha appeared with us that weekend, this particular weekend. Aretha Franklin, my God. Now, we all knew about Aretha. Everybody knew Aretha. And
He said, my
but
God.
sharing the stage with Aretha. And one night, after we finished, we done our set, Aretha done her set. And for some reason, I can't remember what had happened. Aretha's driver didn't turn up or something. I can't remember now, but Ike asked me if would I drive Aretha to the hotel. And I said, of course. And so Aretha, yeah, I really appreciate it. If you, whatever happened, happened. And I said, of course, you know. So she got in my car. And I drove all the way across Hollywood, somewhere in Hollywood, wherever she was staying at the time, and drove her home all the way from the 5-4. And we chatted and everything. And she was very, wow, she was another one that didn't like speeding. She said, don't go too fast. Don't like driving fast. I said, okay, don't worry. And that was another one.
I'll get you there.
Yeah, don't worry. But that was one of those magic moments, you know, driving Aretha, right? Driving her home. Another time, this is before the review. Now, this is probably just prior to that. We were stationed in East St. Louis, and we had been to Chicago to do some recording. And as we were driving back down Route 66 back to St. Louis, there was this Cadillac parked on the side of the road. Lights out. This is about 3 or 4 in the morning. And I said, that's Chuck Berry's car. So we hit the brakes. That's Chuck, man. Let's see they all right. You know what's happening. And so stopped, pull up, and backed on the window. Hey man, you guys all right? Chuck, yeah. Just having the guy that was driving, just having a rest, man. Just having a little rest, was tired. And so I said, hey man, you want Jimmy, you want to drive his car on into St. Louis? You come on home, you don't need to sit on the side of the road sleeping. And I said, yeah. So that in Chuck Berry's Cadillac and drove Chuck Berry. Brought it all the way to St. Louis. He was like, don't go over 50 miles an hour, man. Whatever you do, don't go over 50. And I'm used to driving 80, 90 all the time. You know what I mean? I'm cruising on the long thing. The cars would take it, and it was just, that's the way it was. But it was funny, man. But I was in my element. I'm driving Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry was my #1 hero. You know, what a great poet, what a great songwriter.
Wow.
Right? That was another one of the magic moments for me. I had many, many, many of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So out of all the Ikettes that you was around at your time in the Kings of Rhythm and Ike Tina Turner Review, which one was your favorites?
My favorite
Ikettes,
well, now see, I might make a lot of people mad. And a lot of people might, when they see this or when they hear this, they might think, oh, he's being prejudiced. But my favorite Ike had to be Vonetta.
Well, why was that?
Not because she was my squeeze, but but Vonetta, you see, like I've always been as we were talking about gospel music, right?
Uh-huh.
And Vonetta was a gospel, she was straight out of church. And Vonetta, she could sing anything. Her voice was just like that.
She did have a good voice, yes.
She would sing songs. I mean, we'd be, after we'd be sitting in a hotel, ready to go to bed or something. And I'm tired, she just sang Never Grow Old or something. She just started singing. Take me to church. Just that voice. She just had this natural, not that there were not other girls that came through the group that had great voices, but there was something special about. I think it might have been because in her audition, I'll never forget her audition. We were playing in Buffalo, New York. That's where she was from, and we needed a girl. That was one or two of the girls had left unexpectedly or something. Me and Bobby John had to fill in, and one other girl, whoever that we had. And one of the guys there's he was a DJ called OJ. Eddie OJ was a DJ. The group, the OJs, you know the OJs?
Yes.
Right? Well, they got their name from Eddie OJ because he was such a mentor of local talent. Where he said, yeah, I know a girl. You need a girl? Yeah. We know. I know a girl here. She's a church girl with age. She's, she got the voice. Anyway, so they sent me to go pick Vanetta up during the gig at the halftime. So I went, got Vanetta, brought her back, went in the dressing room. That's right. She was at the gig. She was at the gig, and Eddie OJ, yeah, they sent me out anyway. Got her, brought her back, and OJ says, she might not know any bluesy songs, kind of, what y'all doing, but just check her voice out. So anyway, she came in the dressing room, man, and I got a piece of guitar in the dressing room, and me and him, Tina, Bobby John, we standing around waiting on her to. She said, "What?" She said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "Do you know any popular songs?" And she said, "Well, no, I don't know. I only know gospel songs, church stuff." And so I said, "Sing, okay. You know, Never Grow Old. Aretha Franklin's Never Grow Old." And yeah, I know that. I said, "Well, play it." I said, "Shit, I don't know that, man." She said, "You don't have to play it. It's all right." And she just opened up a cappella.
Oh, wow.
Just like Mary. Yeah, just like you did. And man, she just wiped us out. We were pinned to the wall. We just couldn't move. Vanetta just wiped us out.
Yeah.
All of us. Tina, everybody. We say, Jesus Christ. She was hitting the notes like Aretha. I mean, she was doing it, man. Just by herself. Suddenly just feel, oh my God. So anyway, that was it for me.
That took it right there, huh?
Yes.
Yes, that's a wonderful story. Well, I would have to say if I had a favorite IK, it would be Esther Jones. Just the roughness of her voice, that power that she held,
Yeah.
Esther Jones in her voice, it was
Short
just out of
stack.
this world. Short stack, yes. Looks, if we're going by looks, definitely Edna Richardson. She was beautiful. She was a light-skinned woman.
Okay.
And Jean Brown. She was brown skinned. She came in the 70s.
Jean Brown, okay. All these, I don't know these ones. These were after
Yeah.
me. Yeah. Carry on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those and Claudia Lanier. Claudia Lanier.
Yeah, listen, everybody gotta love Claudia. I know Claudia, yes.
How you know?
Got to love her.
How you know a little Claudia? How you know her?
Well, Claudia, I only met Claudia after she came in right after I left. Right? And Ike and them came over here and he rang me, "Hey man, yeah, I'm coming down to the hotel." Anyway, I got to meet Claudia. And Claudia came out to where I live, my house and everything, and hung out. And we just Claudia just she just nice, man. She was just
She
nice.
is, and she was so beautiful. Her dark skin was just
Yeah,
gorgeous.
speaking of that dark-skinned beauty, like Claudia, well, that's some way a lot of people refer to Vanetta. They said Vanetta looked like she had the features of Nefertiti, the Egyptian princess, Nefertiti. Right, that's who Vanetta. She looked like that picture of Nefertiti's profile.
Wow.
It was the same. Yes. Yeah.
Dang.
That was some beautiful women came through that group. I mean, really from back in my day all the way up through till when it was no more, I guess.
Well, I
It was
think
a
I would
lot.
have to say three. You know, my
Yeah.
aunt Shelley, she's number
Shelley.
one. Shelley Clark.
Yeah. Right.
Then Ann Thomas, because Ann Thomas was beautiful, even though she couldn't sing. She still had that
Yes.
beautiful look. And then Esther
Oh, yeah.
Jones.
Yes. Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, it was that group, that organization, I should say, the Ike and Tina Turner Review. I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of other bands and all groups and things that travel, but there was nothing ever like it before or since that I can remember.
They just
Because
had an
everybody
aura
else,
of themselves to me.
yes, it was a one-off.
Yeah.
And it's never been replicated. I mean, there's been a lot of people, a lot of dancers and singers and stuff and reviews, but it's never been nothing like that.
Especially
It-
when
it-
they was singing that ooh poopy doo, and
Yeah.
she said, "Okay, now repeat after me." He started saying the Lord's Prayer, and she looked at him, but just the look and the energy, even though they might have fought the day before or argued or whatever, but when they got on stage, nobody
Yeah.
knew. That's how much power that they had in their music
right.
chemistry. They was on point, and you can look that lust and the love they had in their eyes for one another. Like, wait till we get home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. It was just
It
amazing.
is.
It really was. It was just a time.
Really.
I suppose it's like everything. There's a time, and beyond that, whatever comes after, it can never be the same again.
Nope.
You never
Always
get it.
one. So
No,
what did you?
that's right.
So after you left the Kings of Rhythm and all that, what did you do after? I know you moved there to England. So what have you done since you left them?
Well,
And
Okay. Well, when we came over in '66, Pat Arnold, PP Arnold was with us. She was an Ike addict.
Just call me
Right.
Angel of the Morning.
Right.
Angel.
On it.
I love her.
Absolutely, you know it. And well, she came over. Because we were touring with Mick Jagger, and we did a lot of studio work with Mick, who was over here as the group, because he got myself, Pat, and we had another girl. I can't remember her name now. Oh God, she was very beautiful. She didn't last long. She was middle-aged. She was pretty, man. She had a broken arm. She broke her arm. And she was wasn't doing all that dancing and stuff with a broken arm, like a bird, a beautiful bird with a broken wing, right? But that was her. Anyway, Mick would pick us up from the hotel and take us to the studio, and we'd doing some doo-wop things on some of his stuff, his productions and things. And but he started an affair with Pat, right? So Pat was having an affair with Mick. That was later on, because she left the group. She stayed over here, and I went back with the group. They was trying to get me to stay at the same time. And no, I was still into being with the review, etc. And when I did decide to come back, I stayed over here with Pat because she had a nice apartment and everything, and had her kids was here, and I was brought over by the people that was producing Joe Cocker and David Bowie. So they brought me over and they, let me learn about production and stuff. Let me go in the studio, writing the songs and doing my stuff. And I doing a lot of session work with other people. Got to know, I was working with everybody from John Lennon to you name it. I was pretty much in there, it was paying good money, but I was basically learning studio craft, etc. Because when you're on the road a lot, even though you be recording, like you're in and out of the studio, you got no time to really get into the production side of things. So now, when I left the group, that's why I was really living in the studios, and I loved it. And so I set up my own music publishing thing. And eventually my own little label and stuff, and started recording other people apart from myself, because I really set up just for me. But in order to be taken seriously, I had to record other people. That's what I was saying. And it worked out all right. And I'm back now. I've done the full circle. I'm sick of done the recording with other people and stuff like that. And it's strictly my stuff, just me. I can concentrate on me. I'm too old to be nursemaid and other artists and stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm really enjoying it. So that's what I've been doing ever since I've been here, recording and writing and producing and enjoying my life.
Mhm.
You know that. Yes, I've never done anything else except music.
Now, what was your favorite Ike and Tina album?
Um, I don't know if I got a favorite, because I never was that into our albums because they were it was us. I was living it all the time. So to
Mhm.
me, uh, I just took everything for granted. I never really paid that much attention to our albums. The we did a couple live things. The one we did in Harlem, Illinois, or Brooklyn, Illinois. This in East St. Louis. It was a live album where I did I Smell Trouble and I Feel Good and stuff like that on. Which was
I don't think that's been released. I'm glad you told us. Now we can find it and try to get it out. But that hasn't been
yes.
released yet.
Oh yeah, it's released. It's been released for years.
Well, it's not over
Oh
here
yeah.
because we've looked
Oh
those up and we
right.
cannot find you singing that.
Find it. Okay, well I'll tell you what you do. If you go online and let's see, what's the Ace Records, Ace, right?
Mhm,
Check out Ace Records, go online, find Ace Records, and you'll find those live albums.
mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But so
And you can
so we don't have a lot of time, and we want
okay.
to make this your our last interview with you, so we don't waste any more time. So we're gonna just go through some more questions before the time runs out.
Okay.
And so what was your favorite outfit that the Ikettes wore?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's again is it's one of those things. I mean, they had so many outfits. Some of them were good, some of them I liked, some of them I hated. Uh, I don't know. That it's an impossible question for me to answer that one,
Mhm.
honestly, because there
Now,
was I can't remember them all really.
mhm. Now when did you hear the news about when the review broke up? When did the news get to you?
Um, I think that you mean when Ike and Tina separated.
Yes, and the review just yeah.
Yeah, because that I think I went one way and she went another way, but it was still the same image of the same review. Basically, she took the girls with her, started working in Vegas, but it was basically the similar show. He went off and he got another woman, girl to try to replace Tina, which he could never do,
Never.
doing the same kind of thing. And it just didn't work. When I got the news, I just thought, well, that's the end of an era. That's it. I knew that. And even though he would come over here and we'd hang out and we'd talk and stuff, he knew that. But he was still like one of them strong characters, right? You can tell him, hey, why don't you just be yourself and just sing? You should be doing your own singing. You don't need another Tina